Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Talking Reds. And we have some big news regarding Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and we also have an update on what squad is going to go to PSV tomorrow in the Champions League. And there are some big omissions from Arne Slot, which is fantastic news for us because we need to rest these players. We need them for Saturday. Welcome, Naj, tonight and tonight's show. Big news, Salah. He hasn't seen the Salah news, he hasn't seen the Trent news yet, but so it's going to be a raw reaction, which I like. I like people coming with raw reactions to these because you don't know what to expect. So we'll start with the Salah news, Naj. Salah, Liverpool have been ongoing talks with Salah and his representatives with proposals made, but the negotiations have come to a deadlock.
Yeah.
A deadlock, according to Jason Burt from Telegraph.
Yeah, I mean that's the one I did actually see a little bit about.
It's getting tense, isn't it? These contract negotiations.
Yeah, I mean, I think repeating myself multiple times I could have this season about the whole saga with the big three. I think obviously, in my opinion, I think Salah's fine, but I just think it's sort of like what's going to happen with the deal. I think I think Salah personally wants 3. And I don't think FSG are willing to give that, and that's what I feel like. Sort of coming to this like grind all the time on this negotiations. I think possibly a similar story with Van Dijk as well, but I believe them 2 out of the 3 are the ones that are showing the most committed. Come out in the media, obviously Salah saying, he's never done media after the game, and he's done it 3 times this year, so that quite clearly shows that he doesn't want to be put, he doesn't want to play, he doesn't want to play for the club, he wants to leave. He's shown us all that he wants to stay. So I feel like at this moment, it's sort of just how much more are you going to give me? And I think he's in his right to say that, to be honest, as well.
I mean, look where he's playing. He's playing out of his skin, and so is Van Dijk. To be honest, Van Dijk is pretty much back to his best. I've always said that on the last couple of weeks now. I've said, look, I'm preparing myself for the worst because I know FSG. I know like how we cut corners and we're not willing to pay what players want or what clubs want sometimes. But I think it's quite clear that this wouldn't be on the players anyway, because the players have already come out, like you said there, they've come out numerous times saying, look, I want to stay. I think apart from Trent, it's only Trent really that's iffy in terms of like you don't know what he wants. But these 2 specifically, they said they want to stay. They said, the focus is really on Liverpool. Are you getting nervous yet?
Do you know what? Honestly, with honest opinion, I think I've gone past that point. Because on so long. I am to say I'm not nervous is probably like a lie in a way, but I mean I'm not as nervous as I once was. Like I think obviously the news has died down, obviously because there was obviously that deadline of 1st of January, and obviously there's been no indication that any of the players have gone to another club, had any meetings with another club. Maybe there's secret meetings with Trent. We don't know about that with Real Madrid, but I mean, especially Van Dijk and Salah. I was listening to Simon Jordan. Like I don't really listen to him a lot, but he said the correct thing. Like if Salah leaves Liverpool, he's the best player in the world at this current moment in time. Say Saudi Arabia, the big contracts offered there. The big money. Obviously, he would be the face of the league, wouldn't he, if he went there? But it's downgrading in what he's doing, isn't it? Like he's not going to be playing for one of the most elite clubs in the world. He's going to go to a non-elite league, if you like, in a way. I know.
Yeah.
But for Mo Salah, he's staying at the top of his game if he stays at Liverpool. He's staying at the top of challenging for the best trophies, challenging for Ballon d'Or, etc. So I feel like he knows that as well. So
yeah, it sort of makes sense for him to go to Saudi at some point, being in like the Islam connections and the fact that he would be like he's the biggest Islamic footballer of all time, pretty much. And he would be seen over there as like the best player in the league. That he is the best player in the world currently on form. I think he'd even take the Ronaldo status over there, if I'm honest, just because how big he is currently. And funnily enough, Jason Burt also went on to say Al Hilal from Saudi Arabia are emerging as front runners to sign Salah if he were to leave Liverpool. But it's the fact that these 3 players, it baffles my mind that FSG are getting defended by some people because it hasn't happened yet. But the fact that these 3 can speak to clubs for free right now is a disgrace.
Oh, it's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. Meant to be one of the biggest clubs in planet. And it's just like, this wouldn't happen with any other club. I don't feel like any other big club, like, your Barca's, your Madrids, even your Uniteds, I'm just all including that. All them sort of clubs wouldn't let their best players, if they were in Liverpool's position, get to this way. It just wouldn't happen. And I feel like that's just the neglect from FSG, and that's another story for another day. But I feel like it's pretty simple job, isn't it? What they had to do this season. Richard Hughes. We barely signed him in the summer. The main focus went back over to, are we gonna? The main focus was, we're gonna sign these 3 players. That's the main focus now. That still hasn't happened. There was obviously Canate got offered a deal. That hasn't happened either. There's all these players that can't get over the line with the contracts, and I don't think it's down to any of the players at all. I think they know that Liverpool are a club that are not going to spend 500,000-600,000 pounds a week on a player like Manchester City have just done with Holland. I know they're not going to do that, and I think the players. But the thing is, it's the appeal of staying at Liverpool, isn't it? Like the fan base is massive, and Anfield's one of the best stadiums in the world, if not the best. So there's obviously all them like things, but I feel like FSG sort of play on them things as well, to like penny pinch as much as possible, and it is a disgrace. You are right.
And what worries me as well, more so, is the fact that if these 3 to leave, say all 3 leave, someone like Canate is going to leave, because he said it the other day. Look, that's what came out of Paul Joyce the other day, saying like he's thinking about those 3 to go, then he's maybe thinking about his future. Why would players like Canate want to stay when we're willing to still let us best 3 players go like that and not pay them? Regarding Trent Alexander-Arnold, though, it has come out today, Sacha Cavaliere, about Real Madrid, that they are getting quite annoyed with Trent and the slowdown of discussions. I think Real Madrid thought they could come in January and steal him. I think he still goes to Real Madrid. But there was no chance of getting him in January. I don't think Trent would ever leave in January, knowing that, especially on a title run. If we were like 5th, 6th, possibly, and that's really clutching at straws there regarding Trent. But I think there's no way he'll go in January. So they are getting frustrated, they're getting a bit angry about it, and they're looking at Joshua Kimmich as a plan B, according to Cavaliere. So Trent Alexander-Arnold, they still expect him to leave.
I was talking about this the other day. I had like a theory on it, and I was like, do you think Trent, I mean, you can answer this if you want as well, do you think Trent waiting to see how the season goes with Liverpool? Like, say if Liverpool win the Premier League and the Champions League, say if that theoretically happens, there's a good chance that could happen. Does that put him in a position where he can't leave, or does it put him in a position where, I've won it all sort of thing now?
He's done it again. Yeah, he's won it again, yeah.
Yeah, but because he's won it again, maybe that would give him more reason to stay. I don't think he needs a reason to stay at Liverpool, but maybe it gives him more of a reason to stay. Because, I mean, if that does happen, then on paper, Liverpool are the best team in the world. So why would you're gonna sort of be downgraded in a way? I'm not saying Real Madrid.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, because it would be downgraded technically because Real Madrid didn't do as well as Liverpool. But what I'm seeing it as right now is these 3 will just put everything into this season. They'll want to leave on a high. Right now, in my head, they're leaving. All 3 are leaving. I'm preparing myself for more leaving. Yeah. I always thought Virgil and Salah would say, but the more this is going on, the more that's coming out. I'm sort of preparing myself for the worst. But I think that they want to get this season out of the way, leave off a win, and then I don't see them we don't see next season to build upon that. So yes, we are the best at the moment, but next season there's no guarantee to go again because of FSG. There's no guarantee to go again because we're happy just to go into another season. We're not spending again.
I always say, like, it's FSG don't care where Liverpool finish as long as them hospital tickets getting sold and tours around Anfield and stuff like that. They don't care. Like, obviously it's not a bonus if Liverpool win the league and stuff like that, but ultimately don't care. Like, it really proved it to me many years ago when we won the Champions League and we signed Sepp van der Berg and Harvey Elliott. Like, that was combined 15 million. And that just showed the ambitions of it. In at that moment in time, obviously went on to win the league fantastically. Again, the season after, we didn't sign anyone after we won the league. And it's just, we brought Thiago in for 20 million. I always say this. I'm not like a massive fan of spending loads and loads of money. Like I'm not bothered at all. I think Liverpool fans ask for is like the bare minimum, really.
Yeah.
A strong squad strengthening player and players to remain at the club, and they just can't seem to either. There's either two reasons: they don't care, or they want to save money. So, it's probably a mixture of both. If I'm going to be told.
Yeah. Well, I think they bought us just basically a business venture. They got us at a good time. And I've always said this, and I'll always say every single time I talk about FSG, I'll always praise them for the good things they've done. They've got a good football structure underneath. I've always said they're like the Glazers, but a good football structure underneath, which the Glazers never did. They had bankers running underneath, and that's what FSG didn't do. They saw how footballers run. They got a good football structure, but their ambition and their goal is to make money only, and they're using Liverpool for it. And it's easy to use Liverpool for it. They were millionaires when they bought us, now billionaires. They could sell us on for billions of pounds. But it doesn't mean I don't want Elon Musk either. When people say, "Oh, you want Elon Musk?" I don't want Elon Musk either. You got another American greedy American businessman. Why do I want that? I don't want one now, so I don't want that. So there's news about tomorrow's game against PSV, the squad that is going over there. So these are the players that have been admitted and will get a rest. Hopefully, let's have a look. See, Alisson Becker, Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Konate, Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Salah, Diaz, all left out of the PSV trip. That's the first 11, isn't it? By Robertson, by Robertson and Gakpo. That's the first 11. Yeah, it's needed.
The first I've heard of that, and I was thinking, Liverpool, I was saying this about Liverpool need to rest players, like especially Gravenberch. Like he's been, compared to last season, what was it, 15 starts, 16 starts, something like that. This season he's been. I think he started every game, hasn't he? So, like, he
pretty much is, yeah.
Yeah. So I think, I'm kind of glad Salah definitely. I don't think Salah needs a rest, but it'd be good for him to have a rest, if you know what I mean. I think he's peak physical fitness. Like, same with Van Dijk as well. Pretty similar scenario to Salah. The other players as well, just a good rotation. But I think it's kind of good to see the players that have sort of done well this season come back in, like Kelleher coming back in would be great to see it. Come in. He had a great, obviously, 12 games, 13 games for Liverpool this season. It'd be good to see him come back in. I'm excited to see Chiesa. I know every Liverpool fan in the world, probably yourself included, are excited to see Chiesa get some more minutes because he looks sharp. He looks like he be something for the next, 4 or 5 months season, and I'm excited to see what he can produce against in the Champions League. I mean, it's last game. We don't really need to win it, but it'd be nice to get 8 out of 8 because then, we're the first team to do that, which is another thing we can rub in someone's face.
I mean, the only way we can come second is if we lose and Barcelona away. I expect Barcelona to win, so we only need a point really to come top. So I expect with the squad that we're taking, we've got like Elliott, Chiesa, Gakpo, Robertson, got Nayoni taking over there, Jadon Danzer's gone over there, Kelleher. It's a decent squad still. Kwanzaa, it should be enough to come out of PSV. It'll be an interesting game because PSV had no mugs. No. And I think it will be a good game, but if we can get a point, that's all we need. That is all we need. And the big game is on Saturday. Let's be honest, it's Bournemouth away, who just basically scored 9 goals against Newcastle and Nottingham Forest back to back. So it's nice to have a rest, isn't it?
Yeah, very nervous about that game on the weekend, but I feel like the nerves are set a bit. The players getting a rest. I was on about this the other day, saying, it's kind of good that Liverpool have had such a strong start because I feel like, Champions League now, you sort of get a few rests in, and like that's sort of a bonus of it. I mean, obviously they've gone proper gung-ho till now, but it's just good to see, especially this game getting a rest because it's already over, really, isn't it? We've qualified for Champions League 2-3 games ago, so it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But it'd be nice to just finish top.
Yeah, it would be nice to finish on 8 out of 8 as well. That would be something else. The first ever Champions League under this format, to the first team to do it and get 8 out of 8 would be incredible. But whatever happens tomorrow is I'm glad Champions League's around just to focus on football for a day away from what's going on the pitch, off the pitch regarding the contracts, regarding the lack of transfers. But I'm used to it now by now. If you're not used to that by now under FSG, then you're never going to get used to it. But tomorrow, big game tomorrow. Hopefully get through that with the team we've got, get a point, come top, and then on to the next round for us. And we do get a couple of buyers, obviously missing those next rounds because of with through in the top 8. So that, and I did a Champions League fixtures earlier. What we could get. That's out. If you want to watch that, it's already out on the channel. Guys, tomorrow we have got hopefully a live preview. I'm going to try to go live if I can for the Champions League. So it's going to be a build up to all the Champions League games, especially the Liverpool game. Obviously getting the team news out and things like that coming out. We're also starting the interviews as well. That trying to interview 1,000 Liverpool fans. That is my first challenge to do this for Talking Reds, and it is starting tonight. So that will be out tomorrow as well. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like this channel, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and get your notification bells on as well. Thank you, Nige, for coming on as well. Have a great night, guys.